To me, baby. Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. It is Thanksgiving Day. Guys, we talked about my members only live stream about what to be thankful for this holiday season. Especially with this year dealing with COVID. Be thankful that you're alive. Be thankful that you're breathing. Be thankful that you're healthy. Because we have lost a lot of people this year. A lot of people. I know, a lot of you guys out there have been dealing with, close friends and family members that have passed away because of COVID and other reasons that COVID made worse or things of that nature. You know what I mean? And, this is a time where, like, all the hate has to stop. It has to go away. And those people, I'm reporting you that keeps doing that, making a duplicate account of mine and keep harassing me. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I don't understand why people are still doing things like this at a time like this. That is so childish. It is so irresponsible. Stop that crap. And I'm not putting up with it. So understand that. Don't play with me. I'm not the one to play with. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Dallas Cowboys tragedy this week. We talked about in the last video about Marcus Paul having emergency going to the hospital, and we don't know. We were never told what it was exactly. Probably won't ever know. But that's family business. It is what it is. But they said it's not associated with COVID, but unfortunately, he passed away yesterday. If you guys didn't hear, he passed away yesterday. I wanted to make sure all the facts were clear before I made the video on it. But Marcus Paul, Dallas Cowboys strength and conditioning coordinator, former Syracuse player, former Bear, former Buccaneer, and it has been working on staffs as a strength and conditioning coach, not just for the Cowboys, but for the Jets and the Giants as well. Shout out him and his family. Prayers up to him and his family. He passed away yesterday at 54 years old. It really sucks. I know the Dallas Cowboys organization, they've had him around for a while, even though this was his first year as the actual coordinator. He's been the assistant behind Mike Wojcik in the past, before Mike Wojcik left. But you understand that, these are tragedies. He was like family to this Dallas Cowboys team. And, a lot of these players got to grow and know him, especially the veterans on this team. So it's a lot of heartbreak right now. And with tragedy, and I know how these Dallas Cowboy players are. With tragedy, they normally play that next game very well. You remember when the practice squad player died? What was his name? Jerry. I forgot his last name, but named Jerry. Him and Josh Brent got into a car accident, and Josh Brent went to the hospital, but his friend Jerry died. He was on the practice squad. He never really got a chance to actually play for the Cowboys. He was a practice squad player. He was up and coming. They were trying to see how he fit in the team. He passed away, and they went and traveled to play against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they whooped that team's ass after that. And it was just like, you look at, with tragedy, football is a means to get away, is a means to express yourself on that field, take your emotions and put it into a positive way. And that's what they did in that game. They went out there and they put the heat on it. That's how I feel like the Cowboys are going to do today on Thanksgiving against the Washington team after Marcus Paul passed away. He was a big cornerstone to this team. They loved him. They appreciated him. He was huge to this team, and that was a big hit. Like I said, it's like a family. And I charge you all, be thankful for today. Be thankful for, your life and everything that you got. I know that, I've personally been through a lot this year. I know some of you guys have as well, but understand that, things could be worse. You're still breathing. You're still here on this earth. Thank God. And just keep it moving and try to do your best to, educate other people and try to keep the peace and positivity, because that's what we want. We want peace and positivity. None of that negative stuff. We don't want that. So, as we talk about today's game, Dallas Cowboys play against the Washington football team in AT&T Stadium at 4:30. I wish I could be at the game, but with COVID, I ain't traveling nowhere. I'm staying my butt right here in Maryland. 4:30 Eastern time today. Both teams are 3-7, so you look at this division. This is probably like the first time in like 10 years that like in this division that, what is it, week 11, week 12? What is this, week 11, week 12? In this point in the season, that no team in the division has 4 wins or more. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that this division is wide open. You know, I know some of you guys speak that negativity and talk about, oh, well, I want to tank. I want to do this. I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to win no more games. Hey, that's your opinion. That's how you feel. But understand that, like, as a fan, you should never want your team to tank. Like that, I just thought that was just weird. You know what I mean? Like, why root for a team if you don't want them to win? And I know some of you guys are like, well, I want them to get the 4th pick in the draft. For what? All they're going to do is go back. They're not going to get a quarterback. They're going to go back into the draft and get more draft picks. We got 12 already as it is. Now, I'm not against getting more draft picks, but again, if you have so many draft picks, I remember that one year the Browns had a bunch of draft picks. Half of them didn't even make the team. So, you know, don't waste it. You know what I mean? But that's just how I feel about it. And then I hear people say, well, if we win a division, we're just going to be one and done. You don't know that. You can't predict the future. With the way this year is, and with teams having players getting COVID and getting injuries here and there, you don't know what you can do. You don't know. You never count your team out. That's the dumbest thing you can ever say. Never count your team out. You should always be rooting because you never know what your team can do. I'm just saying. Dallas is 8-1 all time versus Washington on Thanksgiving Day. That's a good tidbit right there. So for those of you Washington fans, I know, shout out to Burgundy and Gold fan all day. I know he'll probably be watching this video. Just remember that last game is because this team gave up. This game ain't gonna go like that last game. I guarantee you that. With the way this defense has stepped up, it's not gonna happen. So let's talk about the numbers. Offense, defense, passing, rushing. So on offense, as of this week, the Washington football team is 28th in the league. On defense, they're 5th in the league because you got Chase Young and company over there on defense doing the damn thing. Passing, they're 24th overall in passing, and rushing, they're 25th. So you look at those dismal numbers on offense. If our defense just plays just stout like they've been, you're going to be able to stop their offense very much so on their end. I love the way that this team has stepped up, through adversity, and especially with the passing of Marcus Paul. I think they're going to play so much better this week. I know that, when you look at the numbers, when you look at a tragedy like that on a short week, you would think that the Cowboys would lose, but I think, and the way that I know this team, they normally step up in the face of adversity. And I that's one thing I can say I respect about this team. They do that very well. Cowboys on offense, they're 7th overall, 23rd on defense. Actually, that's better than they were before. So, to say that, even at 23rd, like, that's better. They were like dead last earlier in the year. Remember that. So, it's improvement. They're 8th in passing and 13th in rushing. Ezekiel Elliott had his first 100-yard game this season, which is weird to say because Ezekiel Elliott is normally a monster. But, with the offensive line being janky as it was just a different situation. Now, you look at now you got Zach Martin back. You got Joe Looney back in the lineup. So that's definitely going to help this team. The offensive line played pretty well against the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they're going to continue that this week as well. Dallas has allowed fewer than 10 points in the first half of each of their last 3 games, which shows you how much this defense has been stepping up this year. You look at the defense as a whole. Mike Nolan had to adjust some things, had to understand these players and play the best of their ability, which he should have did in the first place, but that's just me. The players are meshing better together. They're healing back from injuries and things of that nature. So it's a lot of different things to look at on this defense and say, hey, that's what they're doing. The only thing that really scares me on Washington is their defensive front. They got Chase Young, they got Tim Settles Jr., they got Ryan Kerrigan. They got all these guys that like former first-round draft picks. I think they got like 5 former Alabama players on their defensive line, and it's crazy. Like, and even with that, like, their record isn't great, but, because their offense, your defense could be whatever, but they're going to get tired at some point because if your offense is not putting up the numbers, That's what it is. The only thing on their offense that's scary to me is probably Terry McLaurin. That's the best thing they got going on their offense. Their rushing game hasn't been the best, but again, they're just like the Cowboys when it comes. And realistically, they're just like the Cowboys when it comes to the new coaching staff. They got Riverboat Ron over there, still trying to figure things with the team, just like we have Mike McCarthy, still here trying to get his team together. But I think that both of these teams next year will probably be much better. I think once Washington, I think, and again, even though it's a rivalry, I have to give credit where I give credit. Washington is one of those teams where they don't give up, and you can never count them out, even when it's a division game, because they always play the Cowboys hard. They just do. Now with them, like, once they get a team name next year and figure out what they got on offense, and strengthen their offense, they actually might be good because they already got a stout defense. So you look at that, and they need pieces just like the Cowboys do. So you look at this division as a whole, all of these teams can be great. They're just missing certain key pieces. Now, I don't know about the Eagles, though. They, Carson Wentz run out there like he don't even care no more. He got 13 interceptions already. Like, I don't know what's going on with them. So I'm looking at the Eagles. They're on a downtrot. So you look at this game, it's going to be a hell of a game. Both teams are going to be fighting hard. You look at the matchups and stuff like that with our offense and their defense and our offense. If we can hold up blocks on that defensive line, we can definitely get that ball over their head into the secondary, because their secondary isn't as good as what their pass rush is. Their pass rush is really good, but if you could counteract their aggressiveness on defense, you got it. Because if Andy Dalton is going to be playing like he did last week, we should be all right. We should be all right. You got to get the ball to your receivers. Amari Cooper can't be the only receiver to have a catch like in the last Washington game. Can't happen like that again. We have to make sure that we do what we need to do. We need to get the ball out. Michael Gallup got to get the ball. CeeDee Lamb got to get that ball. You got to get the ball to your number one receiver in Amari Cooper. You got to get that ball out. All of these guys are a deep threat, and all defenses should be shaking in their pants right now. That's how our offense should be. You get a mixture of Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott like you have been in the last few games, including that Pittsburgh game, they're going to be all right. They're going to be able to win. Special teams got to step things up. They can't be making mistakes and stuff like they have been in the past couple of weeks. You got to make plays on special teams, because special teams is important as well. Those special teams plays, those extra little plays, they help. So I just look at it like that. That's a simple fix. You look at the keys to victory. That's pretty much it. You neutralize their defensive line, and you pretty much got it. Offense, run the ball, get the ball to your receivers, and you should come out with a win. Now, I know this team is going to come out aggressive. I just got a feeling, because after Marcus Paul died, what I know about this team is they play hard for their organization, and that's it. They represent the star, and that's what I love about these players on this team. They always been like that, and the ones that weren't, that's why they're not here no more. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. It's Thanksgiving. Hopefully, everybody is with your immediate family. I suggest every household get the little temperature, little check things too. That should help too. And I know that a low temperature doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have COVID, but it definitely helps to know that, hey, this guy ain't got no fever. He's all right. I will be live streaming for the game, so look out for that later on today at 4:30. So with that being said, y'all, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon. Peace out.